cherry blossoms are tribute from Jiangnan. Hard to grow here.
The Baojun Tower is a majestic sight. Undeniable proof
Emerald
of the
shrimp.
song's rising power.
Orchid loom,
A noble
coral
boon,
reef.
and the flourishing of gifted minds.
A brief respite. A brief respite.
Mozi once built a wooden kite, 3 years to make, and 1 day to fall. Now the kite I've made can not only soar for days, scouting the enemy day and night without rest, it can also harness the firestone, whistle out commands, and lead the battle charge. But when has there ever been a kite that soars forever? Still, even if it does fall one day, what is more important is how high it once flew and how far. I have already reported once the guests are this year. Such a if we don't enjoy
What I heard, hosting a banquet here. You're not really admiring cherry blossoms, are you?
seeing through everything, you're not simple. The prefect under the guy. Indeed, it's true. Now with the internal strife, by then, the upstream. If we can use the power.
What a brilliant...
Both countries have now sent pretending to tour. As for who is, the invitation is once the guests are seated, the banquet can begin.
Imperial Garden. The seasons pass like poets.
Everyone's gathered to see the archery. Why?
This time.
Judging by your noble demeanor, you must be an envoy from another country. Am I right?
Good perception.
The governor is hosting a banquet at Baojun Tower and has...
Oh? I've long heard.
Mother, I'm tired.
The Jinming Pool.
Greetings.
Greetings, young hero. Young hero.
The governor has prepared a...
banquet.
Can't see anything at all.
The general is here. Strangers keep out.
Sorry for the interruption.
No need for formalities. Young hero.
Yes, once the guests are seated.
Thank you, young hero.
The Quintident warship towers with 5-deck citadels and stands over 30 meters. This ship stands firm in the center of the smashing nearby boats, big and small.
This massive warship is so huge, sailing from the north to the Shanghai region. If the waterline changes,
When sailing from the Bian River system into the Sui Dynasty, Quintident relied on manual sand and stone, but speed is crucial. switch to water tank ballast, draw and discharge water locally, and adjust the water line as easily as moving your arm. In this way, this ship can travel between the northern and southern waterways, as if entering an unguarded land.
Good. In the past, when the Sui dynasty conquered the Qin dynasty and unified the north and south, this ship lost to time. With the aid of the contrapt, once the final batch of military pay arrives. Honored envoys, although Shu and Tong follow the cow, you've always been diligent. Now, Nanping, Bashu, and Jiangnan are both along the Yangtze River.
Jiangnan has already exhausted its national resources, having paid tribute 3 times countless gold.
Lord Zhao, the military funds required by the Great... It is currently stationed outside the Huilong post, ready for delivery. Only 2 requests for the Song dynasty to fulfill. First, once the Song... Second, they must hand over the restoration diagram of the 5-toothed warship to the Shu kingdom.
Okay. Someone! Since the 2 countries have already made a treaty, General Rong, please hand over your talisman and lend it to the Shu envoy for a while.
Today's banquet hosts, honored talents invited by the Emperor. We must be very careful. How are the preparations?
A noble ruler.
Nothing out of order?
And the
if any fruit or
of
vegetable
gifted
lacks
minds.
freshness, return it to the kitchen for replacement.
Quickly now, fresh tea for our honored guests.
General, why do you look so worried?
Young hero, you are ignorant. I have a close friend. He fell ill a few days ago. Since you are a guest of honor of General Rong, if you have the chance to inquire about his recent situation,
Look, the diagram is the
Are the most important. Dinghu is pacified. With you here today,
Speak.
Jinming Pul is currently concentrating its military in such a crucial military town. The theft of the diagram I could also first accuse him of the crime.
Stealing from oneself.
If we can swiftly unify the North...
Young hero, the Song's quintident warship has already drained. If Bashu also obtains this map, not only will it...
In that case, I'll make a trip.
Banquet is about to end. Jinming Pul...
Behold, the quintident warship.
Exactly. The towering ship has 5 decks, stands over 100 feet tall, and can accommodate 1,000 warriors. 6 giant hammer poles are set up around, hanging high on all sides. And the ship's hull is as majestic as a grand mansion. Once the giant hammer falls from above, the enemy ship will be shattered to pieces. Wang Zhen's tower ship sailed down to Yizhou and dimmed the royal Jinling. It's been 5 years since Emperor Shuzong commissioned this pond for naval training in Kaifeng.
Breathtaking indeed.
This unprecedented in scale. I've returned my talisman. I can't go further from here. It's all on you now, young wanderer. The envoy of Shu has arrived at the palace. The Navy is conducting drills. This is heavily guarded. When approaching the Quintident, do not alert the garrison troops.
With so many guards, how can we get close to the envoy of Shu?
Naturally. We'll first survey the terrain. Plan. The flank is well guarded. They have even dispatched elite bugle soldiers. It would be unwise to attempt entry there. By then, the entire Jinming pool will be on high alert, and the boarding passages will be sealed. A frontal attack is out of the question. The entire route is lined with officials and soldiers come to greet the later Shu envoy. An unwise charge will only alert the enemy. The water functions as a natural defense. Even the most excellent swimmer will not be able to swim that far. With this distance, even the best swimmer would be powerless. However, I've already left something for you to step on, at the mast of the Heimliche ship and at the eaves of the hull. With this, you can spring upward and reach higher ground. Proceeding across the eaves, you could approach the water in front of the square quietly. The willows by the water will be your best cover when it comes time to dive. There is no way for us to get to the banks with all of those soldiers and officials around. Perhaps you could hold your breath and enter the outlet from underwater. This way, you will be able to approach their handover points and secretly obtain what you need to know. Before boarding the...
The military funds are at Huilong Station. After obtaining the five-tooth warship diagram, we can finalize the deal.
I still need to stay here to oversee military drills, so I can only accompany you this far for now. Please, esteemed envoy, take my military talisman and head to the dock to board the warship. General Murong has been waiting for a long time. The diagram is on the top floor of the ship. As you inspect the warship, you can take it back with you.
The authentic blueprint is on board. We will stick to the plan.
Your Highness, is this five-tooth warship really that powerful? Is it worth using so much military funds to exchange for a single diagram?
Why are you so unambitious? Haven't you thought about it? After occupying the middle reaches of the Yangtze, where should this great ship sail next? If not Jiangnan, then Bashu.
Your Highness, I understand.
What have you understood?
The meaning of today's banquet is, whoever doesn't pay up will be the next one to get hit.
Finally, some progress. This tribute of military provisions can ensure the peace of our Shu kingdom for 3 to 5 years. Seizing this opportunity, if we work hard, we can also build this five-toothed warship. In the future, we might still be able to fight against Song.
Your Highness.
Why do you talk so much?
Your Highness, I wanted to ask, why do we have to personally board the ship to retrieve the diagram of the Great Warship? Could there be any trickery here?
What trick could there be? Even in war, envoys are not beheaded. Zhao Guangyi, that guy, killed 2 birds with 1 stone. Firstly, by showing off the five-toothed warship to us. Secondly, by taking the opportunity to retrieve the talisman. It seems the Zhao family is about to kill the donkey after grinding the flour.
Enemy sighted?
By order, verify the boarding talisman.
Excuse me, how do I use this boarding talisman?
Sail to the military port on the opposite shore.
Esteemed envoy, please board the ship and wait. Once the documents are exchanged, we will set off at once for the military port on the far bank and board the warship.
Overconfident.
Who goes there? Who goes there? Wait!
Tell me, is General Wrong really the adopted daughter? It can't be. Then why did she...
Drunk this cup dry of that, I am sure. This clamor of war ends now. I don't have much time left. If the four sons of the military are now divided. It all started when he became the emperor. The Yun hanging the portrait of the late Emperor high, refusing to serve the new dynasty, is nothing but a disaster. Xiao Guangying refused to pacify or quell the rebellion. Brother Shi was the first to support the cause. Back when the army returned to Chensha, but he broke his golden halberd. People say he's ignorant of the...
This floor panel looks like it opens. Oil tanks with ignition trigger if that ship blows. Heaven.
I didn't expect him to have actually snuck onto the ship.
The command room is a...
How about we ask General Moore?
You'll trust someone mad.
True.
We're in trouble, brother. He solved General wrong. Tell the General, quick! Stop him at the ballast...
How you there? Hey!
Stop!
For the realm.
Stop!